Hi, Assalamualaikum and good day to all students. For this video, we are going to cover for chapter 5, Thermodynamics in FST 209, Food Engineering. Alright, so for this particular chapter, it is more towards the first law, second law of thermodynamics and the explanation behind certain terminology. Okay, so let's move on for the first slide, introduction. Okay, what is thermodynamics? Thermodynamics is the study of the relationship between heat and work. From the first law of thermodynamics, the energy can be neither created nor destroyed, meaning that the energy is being conserved. The energy cannot be created nor being destroyed. It can only being transferred from one form to another form. And for the second law of thermodynamics, the transfer of energy by heat flow is directional and not always reversible. Meaning that for the transfer of energy, basically they are only going one way. It cannot be two ways. Alright, normally it will be one way. And basically the flow of thermal energy is always from higher energy to lower energy levels. Meaning that it is from the high temperature to low temperature. Okay. Properties of system can be extrinsic or intrinsic. And then you heard certain terminology, certain terms that is known as equilibrium condition. This one is when a system reaches a condition where the properties remain constant, meaning that there will be no transfer of any energy or any other part. It is in equilibrium. Okay. For heat, or it is being denoted as Q, it is the energy that crosses a system's boundary due to the difference in temperature, whereby for work is being denoted by W. This one is energy associated with force displacement. Okay. And then the third one, internal energy. This one is denoted by U. Basically, they are being used to define intrinsic property, which is the energy is not being associated with either work or heat. Meaning that this particular energy is stored in the product itself. Okay, an intrinsic property, or it is also known as entropy, S, is also possessed by a system and is a measure of the disorder that exists within a system. For the entropy, basically they cannot be measured, but the change of entropy can be defined as the ratio for the reversible energy. Okay, do you remember the slide in previous slide whereby the heat supposed to be directional, one way, but then in certain condition it can be two ways, but only in special condition. So this particular Q reversible energy, okay, Q is energy reversible which cross a system boundary, can be defined as this particular ratio of the reversible energy and absolute temperature. So the entropy is the ratio between reversible energy and the temperature. Alright, the internal energy, U, is a substance that possesses a specific amount of internal energy irrespective of its state, whether it is present as a solid or a liquid. When an amount of heat, Q, is allowed to flow into the system, and W is the net of work being done by the system, then the conservation of energy will give Q equals to W plus delta U, whereby delta U is the energy of internal energy between higher temperature to lower temperature, for example. So that delta U, when we replace this one, delta U, we take out the delta U, it is equivalent to heat minus by work. Okay, the amount of heat minus by the amount of work being done by the system. If let's say the value for Q is positive, meaning that the heat is being added to the system, meaning that the system from cool temperature, from low temperature, it will become high temperature, it become hot. If let's say the value for Q is negative, then the system is giving off heat. meaning that the system is cooling down. It is not cooling up. It is not heating up. For Q positive, meaning that the system is heating up. Q is negative, meaning that the system is cooling down. Then we move on for the enthalpy. Another intrinsic thermodynamic variable is known as enthalpy. Enthalpy is being defined by H equals to the internal energy plus PV. H is the enthalpy, U is the internal energy, P is the pressure, V is the volume. And unit for the enthalpy, this one we have learned in previous chapter, is kilojoule per kilogram, and this one is in SI unit. In a chemical reaction carried out in the atmosphere pressure, where the pressure will remain constant, there is no differences of pressure. Differences of pressure is 0. The enthalpy of the reaction is simply delta H equals to delta U plus P times by delta V. Okay, so for exothermic reaction, delta H is considered as negative. Exothermic meaning that the chemical reaction that release heat to the surrounding. For example, when you add sodium hydroxide into the water, you can feel that the solution becomes hot. So that one is whereby it releases heat to the surrounding. And what about endothermic? Endothermic meaning that the system absorbing the heat from the surrounding. For sensible heat basically the substance will often undergoes a change in temperature when energy is being transferred between the substance and the environment. So for this sensible heat, it will change in solid, liquid or gas product, whereby there will be a change in the temperature of the substance. For example, if let's say the product is ice cube, whereby it is in solid ice cube. When you transfer and put into room temperature, it will start to thaw. Okay, and it will start to become liquid. So, and you can sense the difference of the temperature from very cold to become warm. So that one is sensible heat. For latent heat, this one the symbol is L, the unit is kilojoule per kilogram. It is similar with the enthalpy, but then for this particular latent heat, it is the quantity of heat being absorbed or released when a substance changes its physical phase at constant temperature. For example, from solid state to the liquid state at the melting point, or from liquid to gas at the boiling point. For example, when you boil water, okay, when you boil water, when it reaches 100 degrees Celsius, you can see there is a formation of water vapor. So that one is the boiling point, whereby the liquid of water starts to change to become gas, to become water vapor. So there is a change in the internal energy, but there is no change in terms of the temperature. The temperature will remain constant. For example, the latent heat of vaporization is the energy of substance absorbed from the surrounding in order to overcome the attractive forces between the molecule as it changes from liquid to gas, and in order to do work against the external atmosphere as it expands. So this one is the explanation for the latent heat. In thermodynamic terms, the latent heat is the enthalpy of the evaporation, whereby L equivalent to the differences of the enthalpy equivalent to the differences of internal energy plus P times by delta V. For specific latent heat, whereby the symbol is L, is the heat being absorbed or released per unit mass of a substance in the course of its isothermal change of phase. The molar latent heat is the heat being absorbed or released per unit amount of substance during an isothermal change of state. Alright, so specific latent heat, this one is meant for the changes of the phase. Okay, and it is related to the mass of the substance, whereby for molar latent heat, of course it is the same thing, it's the change of phase, and it is related with the amount of substance. Okay, the molarity of the substance during the phase changes. LF or HF, for latent heat, it can be denoted by LF or HF, whereby this one is known as latent heat of fusion or enthalpy of fusion, whereby the phase change occur during melting process. Okay, the energy required to change involve the transition from solid to liquid. For example, from ice cube to become liquefy, to become water. Right, that one is latent heat of fusion or enthalpy of fusion. Then we have LV or HFG. This one is latent heat of vaporization or enthalpy of evaporation. This is the phase that change during boiling or condensing process. The energy required to change a unit mass of saturated liquid to saturated vapor while holding both temperature and pressure constant, whereby it involves the transition from liquid to gas. This one, the example is the boiling water. Okay. LG or HG is latent heat of sublimation or enthalpy of sublimation, whereby this one is the phase change, whereby it occurs during sublimation or deposition. The energy required to change a unit mass of solid to vapor at the same temperature. For latent heat of sublimation is the sum of latent heat of vaporization and latent heat of fusion. Okay, so this will be the relationship, the diagram of the relationship between sublimation as well as deposition. For example, solid ice, when it turns to become water vapor, this one is known as sublimation. And what is the example of this process? This one is known as dry ice. When you have dry ice in a solid form, then you expose to the room temperature, it will not change to become liquid, but it will directly transfer to become water vapor. It will evaporate and it will be gone. Okay, but then if let's say you have an ice cube, solid ice, a normal ice cube, it will change, the phase will change to become liquid water, whereby the heat will be absorbed from solid ice to become liquid water. So it starts to liquefy, it starts to thaw. From liquid water, when you boil the water, the heat is being absorbed by the water, and then it will change the state to become water vapor. Okay, so from the gas, from water vapor, this one, when you have condensation, it will become liquid water, whereby the heat is being released. And from liquid water to become ice, this one, when you want to freeze the water, so the energy, the heat will be released from liquid water and it will become solid ice under frozen temperature. Alright, and the process from water vapor directly to become solid ice, this one is known as deposition. Okay, so that's the end for chapter number 5. And for the students, please read, because this one involving with the explanation of terminology. And after you have finished watching this video, please fill up your attendance form in your Google Classroom. Okay, so we will meet in the next video for the following chapter. Thank you.